Hello everyone, this is Lexicon Architect coming at you with another Budget Commander deck tech list. Um, and this deck was the secondary deck that you guys chose for me to build. So yesterday I did Druids, and today we're going to be doing Rebels. Rebels Typal. So let's get into the video. We're going to start off with our commander, which is Lynn Civi. She's a 3-mana 1/3 that has the ability where we can pay X and tap her to search our library for a rebel card with converted mana cost X or less and put that card into play and then shuffle your library. So this is a very good card to get out the rebels that we really want onto the battlefield, since we can search for anything that we want where X is its mana value. And then it also has a very cool ability where you can pay 3 mana to put a rebel card from your graveyard to the bottom of our library, so we can constantly recur the rebels that we like the most, put them on the bottom, and then either in this turn or the next turn we can replay them with Lynn's X ability. And as far as creatures go, we're playing almost all of our creatures are rebels. So we're going to be playing Amaru Scout. It's a 2-mana 2/1 where you can pay 4 to search your library for a rebel card with converted mana cost 3 or less and put it onto the battlefield. Amaru Seekers cannot be blocked except by by artifact creatures and or white creatures. We are also playing Avon Rich Watcher, which is a 3-mana 2/3 with flying and vanishing. So this creature enters the battlefield with 3 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove one, and then when the last one is removed, we can sacrifice it. So when it enters the battlefield, we will gain 2 life, and then when it leaves the battlefield, we will gain 2 life. Ballista Squad is a 4-mana 2/2 rebel that has X and white, and we can tap it, and we can deal X damage to target attacking or blocking creature. Then we're playing Shomano Revolutionary. It's a 4-mana 2/2 that says prevent all damage that will be dealt to it. So if our opponent attacks with one creature, we can block with this, take no damage, and they just waste an attack on you. Then we're going to be playing a 2-mana 1/1 flying with an ability to tap 4 and tap it to search our library for a rebel with converted mana cost 3 or less, put it into play, then shuffle our library. We are also playing Deviant Vanguard, a 3-mana 2/2 that says when it blocks at the end of combat, destroy it and all creatures it blocked this turn. And then for 5 mana, we can search our library for a rebel card with converted mana cost 4 or less and put that into play and shuffle our library. So now, as we've gone through several cards, you're pretty much figuring out that all of our creatures almost have the same ability where we can continuously search our library for rebels. We're playing Drumbell Bellower. It's a 3-mana 2/1 spirit. It's not a rebel, but it does have flying, and then we untap all of our creatures we control during each other player's untap step. So this allows us to untap our commander, look for another creature, or use an ability from one of our creatures to search our library. Then we're playing Irregular Cohort. It's a 4-mana 2/2 shapeshifter that says when it ETBs, you make a 2/2 color shapeshifter token with Changeling. Then we're going to be playing Jovial Rider. It's a 5-mana 3/3 with Trample, and that's about it. Knight of the Holy Nimbus is a 2-mana 2/2 with Flanking, and it says if it will be destroyed, regenerate it. Or our opponents may pay 2. It cannot be regenerated. Well, okay, so we can't pay 2, but our opponents can pay 2 to make sure that it cannot be regenerated if it is destroyed. We're playing a 3-mana 2/2 and Lawbringer. It is a rebel that says tap it, sacrifice it, remove target red creature from the game. Then we're going to be playing a 3-mana 2/2 called Lightbringer that has the same ability, but this time we get rid of a black creature. Then we're playing Mercenary Informer. It's a 3-mana 2/1 rebel that says that it cannot be the target of black spells or abilities. And then we can tap 3 to put it onto the bottom of our library. Next, we're playing Mirror Entity because it's a shapeshifter. It's a 3-mana 1/1 and then we can pay X. And until the end of the turn, creatures you control have base power and toughness, XX, and gain all creature types. Then we're going to be playing Nightwind Glider, a 3-mana 2/1. It's just a flyer with protection from black. And then for 3 mana, we're playing Outrider Encore. It is a 2/2 with flanking. So whenever a creature without flanking blocks this creature, it gets -1/-1. And then for 0, the next 1 damage that will be dealt to it, this turn is dealt to target creature you control instead. Then we're going to be playing for 4 mana Pious Warrior. It's a 2/3 that says whenever it's dealt combat damage, you gain that much life. Next, we are playing Ramosian Lieutenant. It is a 2 mana 1/2 where we can pay 4 to search our library for a rebel with converted mana cost 3 or less and put it into play, then shuffle our library. Then we have a 1-drop 1/1 rebel. For 3, we can search our library for a rebel with converted mana cost 2 or less and put it into play. Then we're playing a 5 mana 3/3 with flying, and if we pay 7, we may search our library for a rebel with converted mana cost 6 or less, put it into play. Then we're going to be playing a 4 mana 1/4 flyer that we can tap 3 mana, so it gains protection of a color of our choice until the end of turn. Then we're going to be playing Rebel Squad, 4 mana 3/3 that says whenever you're attacked, if Reveal Squad is untapped, you may untap all creatures. Next, we're going to be playing Rift Marked Knight. It's a 3 mana 2/2 that has protection from black. It also has flanking. It has Suspend 3, and then it says whenever the last time counter is removed from it, while it is exiled, create a 2/2 Black Knight creature token with flanking, protection from white, and haste. Then for 3 mana, we're going to be playing Shield Dancer. It is a 1/3 rebel that says you can tap 3. The next time target attack creature will deal combat damage to it, that creature deals damage to itself instead. Then we're going to be playing a 3 mana 2/2 named Soul Charmer. It says whenever Soul Charmer is dealt combat damage to a creature, you may gain 2 life unless that creature's controller pays 2. And then we have a 2 mana 2/2 that's strictly a vigilance creature. Then we have a 3 mana human rebel that is a 1/3. And it says whenever it becomes the target of spell or ability, it gets +0/+3 until the end of the turn. And then our last creature is Thermal Guider. It is a 3 mana 2/1 rebel with flying and protection from red. So that is our creature base. Next, as far as sorceries, we're going to be playing Cut a Deal. Each opponent draws a card, and then you draw a card for each opponent who drew a card this way. So if you still have 3 players in the game, each other player will draw 1, but you will draw 3. We're playing Harsh Mercy. It's a 3 mana sorcery that says each player chooses a creature type and destroy all creatures that are of the type chosen this way. They cannot be regenerated. Then for 1 mana, we're playing Lay Down the Arms. So we can exile a target creature with mana value equal to the number of planes you control, and its controller gains 3 life. And then finally, Secret Rendezvous for 3 mana. You and a target opponent each draw 3 cards. As far as instants, we're going to be playing Brave the Elements to protect our creatures from a chosen color, Clever Concealment to phase out our cards, Condemned to put attacking creature on the bottom of its owner's library. It gains life equal to its toughness. We're playing Crypt Swap, a 3 mana instant that is a changeling, and it says exile target creature. Its controller creates a 1/1 shapeshifter creature token. Then we're going to be playing Dawn Charm for 2 mana. We can choose one to either prevent all common damage that will be dealt this turn. We can regenerate target creature, or we can counter target spell that targets us. Faithful Absence for removal, Flawless Maneuver for protection, Generous Gift for removal, Make a Stand to give our creatures indestructible, Ramosian Rally, because all you have to do is if you control a planes, you may tap an untapped creature instead of paying its mana cost, so it will become free and creatures get +1/+1. We're playing a new card from Lord of the Rings called Reprieve. It's a 2-mana instant to return target spell to its owner's hand. We draw a card. And then finally, Unbreakable Formation to give our creatures indestructible. And if we did, for some reason, cast this during our main phase, we put a 1/1 counter on each of those creatures, and they gain Vigilance to the end of the turn. As far as artifacts, we're just going to be talking about Door of Destinies. When it comes in, you choose a creature type. We're going to choose Rebel. Whenever we cast a spell of the chosen creature type, you put a charge counter, and then creatures you control get +1/+1 for each charge counter on it. We're going to be playing Halo Fountain for 3 mana. We can either tap it for 1 white to make a tapped 1/1 green and white citizen. Tap 2 untap creatures you control, draw a card, and then we can tap 5 to untap 15 tap creatures you control to win the game. We're going to be playing Hearthstone because the cost of each creature's ability requiring activation costs 1 less. This cost cannot be reduced at general mana cost to less than 1, so this works good with our commander. Herald Torn to make rebels cost less. Look at the top part of our library, and if it is a rebel, we can play it off top of our library. No, it puts it into our hand. Icon of the Century pumps the squad and allows us to look at the top 3 to either get another rebel. If there is no rebel, we shuffle those, put those cards on the bottom in a random order. We also play Nyx Lotus to generate us a bunch of white mana. Rings of Bringhearth is in here to copy the ability of our commander. So we can, all we have to do is pay 2. So if we pay 3, get a creature with 3 or less, we tap this for 2, and then we get another creature. Skull Clamp for draw, and Vanquisher's Banner to pump the squad. And every time we cast a creature spell of the chosen type, we draw a card. And we only have 3 enchantments, so we have Always Watching. 3 mana, non-token creatures you control get +1/+1 and have Vigilance. Then we play Honor of the Pure. It's a 2 mana enchantment that gives our white creatures +1/+1. And then Toski's Welcome. Whenever one or more creatures enters the battlefield with 3 mana or less, under our control, we draw a card, and it's only, it triggers once per turn. And then we're playing Manitors as one of the new lands. As long as we attacked with 2 or more creatures, we can tap this for 2 to draw a card. Path of Ancestry is in here to allow us to scry if we do use it for our mana to play a rebel. And finally, we play Windbrisk Heights for Hideaway 4. And as long as we attack with 3 or more creatures, we can pay 1 white, tap this, and play the card underneath for free. So looking at our mana curve, we curve out at 3. So it's going to take us a few turns to get ready. And that's the deck in a nutshell. So this is actually a little bit more on the cheaper side than the decks that I've typically built. So if you do want to build this deck, it's going to cost you anywhere between $120 to $125, depending on where you get your cards from. And I hope you enjoyed this video. The link to my social media will be included in the YouTube video, which will be up shortly. I hope you have a great day and take care.